Evening, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Thursday, June 15, 2023 on our planet. Hope you're all well. I want to cover some seismic activity in my country, Canada, my province, British Columbia, as well as some heat anomalies along northern Canada. So once again, please remember the magnetic field lines, aside from the South Atlantic anomaly here, magnetic field lines over Canada and especially northern Canada are weak, thus allowing increased levels of cosmic rays and ultraviolet sea level radiation coming in. Just a little side note. So first, quite a bit I want to cover. I want to try and condense it down to about 20 minutes. So we had the 6.2 earthquake here, shallow in the northern tip of Quebec. And of course, all of our wildfires here. Now, folks, the Greenland mantle plume is a very large mantle plume. And one of its arms or extensions feeds the Iceland plume. So Iceland is actually sitting on top of a mantle plume or a branch or the arm from the larger Greenland plume, which is active. I'm going to break off just for a minute. So every once in a while, there's some heat indications around 4 different locations in Greenland. West side, up in here, north, and the southern tip. So today, what do we have? So this area is quite common for some heat anomalies, or they are not anomalies, they're actually heat coming up. Anyway, I did not want to cover Greenland. Let's go back to my province of British Columbia. So these are not all the earthquakes. This is a global incident map, and ever since the Turkey earthquakes, they have cut the number of earthquakes they're reporting by less than half. So earlier today in my province, we had a shallow 3.3 earthquake in an area called the Wells Gray Volcanic Field. This is the 3rd one, or 4th, this year. Now, there's one lady in the group, I'm not going to state your name, I know you live to the north of here. You asked me earlier on this year if Blue River was a safe area to move to. I say no. Again, in this area here, 3.3 shallow depth. This is the 3rd one in this region this year thus far. So Wells Gray Volcanic Field, eastern British Columbia. So I want to stick on this topic just for a minute. I just want to show you my area. So I'm down here in the South Okanagan region, which has some extensive volcanic complexes in and around Kelowna, British Columbia, Okanagan, and which many people don't realize. So let's go on a quick little tour before I continue. Let's start off with Knox Mountain, right on the edge of Kelowna proper. And again, many people don't realize this. Knox Mountain volcano. Spionkoop Lake Country. It's actually a long chain of volcanoes. This is its spine. Next, one that people are going to wish they never moved to, Dilworth Mountain, a very prominent feature in the city of Kelowna, which on the top of, they have all this residential development. Let's take a look. Dilworth Mountain volcano. This whole complex here. Let's continue. Let's head down to Penticton, south of Kelowna, a very famous observation point. Munson Mountain is actually an old volcano. Now, all these volcanoes are between 50 and 60 million years old. So there's been a lot of weather erosion, glacial scarring. Other volcanic features in and around Kelowna, including Black Mountain, now I'm just going to pop across the lake to my neighborhood, so I'm in this region here. A few days ago, I remember my video. We had a fire breakout. Clear skies, no weather, no lightning, temperature, daytime, 20 degrees Celsius, heat anomalies all throughout this region. 2 were fires. The first one started at 03:43 in the morning. Now, folks, I know that the coordinates that the satellite imagery gives are very, very accurate because I personally attended this location. There were a couple of fires. One was on the steep face of this hillside here. Approximately 350 feet up. So we had 2 fires. One on the steep hillside, one here. 2 heat anomalies 1 kilometer away from the wind, so our winds were blowing this way. We also had some heat anomalies in this area here. No fires. One down here. Anyway, there's a reason why I'm saying this. When NASA gives the coordinates of a location, the longitude, latitude, I know they are very accurate. So let's take a look at some heat anomalies in the northern sections of the provinces. This is the past 7 days. So Reindeer Lake, for example. Okay, people. It's the middle of nowhere. Okay. No roads, no trails. Please don't tell me the eco-terrorists are going to somehow get a boat into here, into the middle of Reindeer Lake here. So let's go to Google Earth and let's take a look at a couple of these areas. Reindeer Lake, northern Saskatchewan. So just over half a kilometer offshore. Let's take a look at a few more. Okay, these ones. One, 6, 4. So about 1/5 of a kilometer offshore. I find some very interesting features here in these lakes. So this feature here is very common among many of the Pacific volcanic islands. I am not saying that this is a volcanic region. I just find some of the features very curious. Let's continue. Let's continue to Athabasca Lake, on the border between Alberta and Saskatchewan. Now, this was more than several days ago. This is about a week ago. I just haven't had time to go through this. Look at all these heat indications in the waters. Let's pick two. This one and this one. Athabasca Lake. So 1 kilometer offshore. This one as well. We also have one on the North Shore. One moment, please. .3 kilometers offshore. So again, this is the past 7 days. And I have seen many other examples of heat anomalies in the waters. Now, if I had the time, I can disprove that all these fires started exactly at the same time. Someone gives you a misrepresentation of what he did with the video, and I can go, now each one of these squares is a separate heat detection. Each one will have its own longitude, latitude, brightness, the acquisition time that the satellite picked it up. I'm not going to go through every single one of these. Now, initially, it was this area here, which was almost 20 kilometers. Please do not tell me this is a coordinated attack in an area with no roads, no access. So I just want to show you a few things. There's a lot more earthquakes than what's being shown here. In fact, it's been highly, highly active today. In the entire Pacific Northwest, there's about 6 earthquakes in this region here. Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, southeastern British Columbia, and the Wells Gray volcanic complex. There you go, folks. So once again, the NASA feeds have cut off all feeds for Nova Scotia. Nothing. No one else is showing the shallow 6.2 earthquake here in northern Quebec. That's it for now.